Okay, hi everyone. So today I invite Ravil here to join our channel because I know Ravil is awesome person who is working and also studying as our college. Um, and are you, Ravil? Can you introduce about yourself and what you are studying now? Mm.
Um, so my name is Ravil.
Mm.
I came to the United States less than 2 years ago, and I didn't know English, almost didn't know. For
Mm.
this years, for this time, I learned English. I believe I learned English a little bit on ESL classes here at the Community College, and right now I study on paralegal program.
Awesome. So when did you move here? Like how long ago?
So yes, I moved here um June 2022.
Mm.
Yes, and learned English, learned in ESL classes for 1 year, and then I started studying on paralegal program, and as well, I work here in workforce department also for a
Yeah.
while.
Was it like why you chose the paralegal program?
So in my country in Russia, I had an experience in legal field
Mm-hmm.
before. So, and I want to continue. I want to continue to be in to work in legal area here. And actually, in my country, it's absolutely different. And here, for me, it's more difficult, but it's very interesting.
Yeah. So you used to be a lawyer in your country?
So uh, something like that. Actually, to in Russia, to be a lawyer, you don't need to have any education. To be
Okay.
like a lawyer. So in order to give legal advices, in
Mm.
order to be a representative in the
Mm-hmm.
court, you don't need to have education.
You just need knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, you can study it by yourself.
Yes.
Oh, that is interesting. And some student they move here from other countries. They say and in the country they used to be a lawyer, they used to be others profession, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and they want to continue to do their they got a job right away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to go back to school to study, like go out looking for a job. Like
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about it?
So I think so. The
Mm.
United States is perfect. Well, why is it perfect? Because United States gives you lots of opportunities. You can start working right now. You can choose your field where you work. And but my way, I choose to become a paralegal and then to become a lawyer.
Mm.
So and that's my way, and I recommend
Mm.
this way to study if you like law, if you love everything to connect it to them,
Sure.
it's definitely will be interesting for you, because law system in the United States, it's a working system, it's a working system, it's interesting system, and what's more important, that's I feel that's an area where you can earn really good money.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, and it's important to go back to school to learn about the U.S. system too,
Yes.
right? It you may be able to find a job right away in your profession like lawyer, but each country the law different, so it's good to go back to school to study maybe, right?
Yes, and I
Mm.
mean, from my country, law system here it's absolutely different. I have to start
Oh.
over. I have to start over. Uh, and so yes, so what I can say, um, I believe for international people, yes, for foreigners, for
Yeah.
people who came to the United States from outside. So it's difficult to find a job. It's difficult to find a job in the legal area because everyone who speaks English properly, they will be better than you. But when you go to study, at college, when you get some knowledge, then you get more advantages than usual Americans paralegals and lawyers. Why? Because you had an experience in your country.
Yeah.
And you can look from another side of this situation.
Yeah.
And yes, and when you if you study and if you studied here, so your employers look at you and say, "Oh, I want to hire. I want to hire this guy because he has an additional knowledge which we don't have. I want to hire this guy." And yes, I strongly recommend to go to college and to study.
Yeah. And also, you know, they worry about how to get paid for their school, right? Can you share with them like what resource, like funding or any financial aids you applied for and how you pay for your school? I just wonder.
Yes, fortunately for me, there are lots of different ways to get funding, and so for here I'll try to explain shortly which way you have. So the first way is a scholarship. You can apply for 1,000 scholarship, and some of them definitely will be applied to you. So I applied for scholarship, and I got some scholarship from TCC, and I applied for this year too. So hope I will get it. So the other way is to apply for FAFSA or VASFA, and so that's easy. They can see if you're qualified or no. Probably you're qualified, and get some money for your tuition, for your tuition. And the third one is to get funding at workforce department where we work. We have some different funds which is supposed to provide you with some money for tuition, for books, and for fees, and you just can stop by to participate in workshop and see if you are eligible or no.
Yeah.
So, but for people who came recently, likely they will be eligible for some of them because they don't have enough income, they have children, they have some struggles, and all of these fundings are supposed to help people to start to study and to pursue their degree and their career next.
That's a very good point. I always tell the people who are watching my channel that when you go to America, the beginning is the best time to go to school, right? Just like Ravil just say, because your income at that time is low, especially the FAFSA. FAFSA, it means the federal age for students, or the WAPSA at Washington. We have the WAPSA for students who are maybe refugees, right? They don't have enough documents, something like that. So beginning is always the best, right? For checking the income.
Precisely.
Yeah, like FAFSA, they check income 2 years ago. Like today, this year, 2024, they check the income 2022. And that time your income is zero because you're not in America yet.
Yes. And so, yes, that's a good recommendation to start studying when you are low income. Yes, because when you start getting your money, so everyone says, so you have money, pay for yourself. But when you don't have, use your opportunity, take advantage.
Yeah, like when you go out to work already a few years and you go back to say, hey, let's go back to study. At that time, you may not eligible anymore because your income is high. I know it should not happen that way, but it is, and we need to, right? So, And right now you are go school. Oh, you do the work study. Can you
Yes.
can you show people like what work study mean and how you feel about the job?
So yes, there is, and definitely there is work study opportunity,
Yeah.
and I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity to work. That's a part-time work,
Mm.
and especially in the beginning, it was very important for me because so um, even to practice English, because when you don't speak English very well, nobody wants to talk with you, especially your relatives who speak English good, especially your friends who speak English good. So they, oh, we can speak in your language, but to find people who can listen to you, and even you take some responsibilities to answer. So I mean, it gives you more motivation to study, to learn, and definitely it gives you some money. It gives you some money, so you can apply for work study, uh, some federal, state, or workforce work studies. There are different opportunities, and definitely you can try to
Yeah.
use it. So that's a good way to start working here in Washington. I believe that.
Yeah.
So.
Me too. I never recommend enough to
Mhm,
have you improve your English, to
mhm,
have you skill experience, and
definitely.
I found most people who do work study is the one mostly be successful
Mm,
because we learn so much already.
yes, yes.
Okay, so um, you also have a family to take care too, right? How you balance like you go to school, you take care of your children,
Mhm.
and how you balance everything?
So yes, I have a wife. I have three children
Mhm.
here, and my oldest son is 5. And yes, definitely I work, I study, and so it looks like probably it's difficult, but actually no. Um, especially so we can start from education, yes, from studying. Studying to study here in the United States, I can say that that it's difficult. So it's not easy, but it's interesting. It's really really interesting to study here, and because of it, you have a motivation to study more and not to miss your lessons and so on. And you have time to do it. You have time. You don't go. So in my country,
Yeah.
if you study, you start studying from 8 a.m. and you finish at 3 p.m.
All day.
Yes, all day you study. Here you can have lots of opportunity. I mean, you can study in the day, you can study in the evening, you can study online, and it equals. Nobody say, oh, you studied online or you studied in evening. We don't count this.
It counts.
Yes,
Yeah.
it counts absolutely. And the next thing is, so if you have low income, if you study, if you do good things, so um, you can get help with childcare. You can get help here, and we use it. We use childcare here at Tacoma
Oh yeah,
Community College
on
campus.
campus.
On campus,
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
childcare. There's childcare. We applied for it. Yes, and yes, and we use it. All
Yeah.
our three children attend
Mm.
attend this childcare, and we're really glad that they attended.
It's
We like this
awesome.
childcare.
My son went to childcare here too, so check the childcare center on your campus. Sometimes at college they have the childcare center. It is excellent. You know why? They are the one training the people who study in the early childhood education.
Mhm.
So because they training people, so they do like perfectly. Mostly everything is professional
Mhm.
to show their student, hey, you should do this, that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so lucky, yeah, and you don't have to try far away. You can just go here, drop your kids off, and then go study
Mhm.
the same school. So Ravil, when you expect to graduate and after paralegal program, right?
Mhm.
What's next?
So I'm going to be graduated probably next spring. So it will be spring 2025, 2025, or probably a summer. I don't know yet. And what's next? So next, I'm still thinking about it. I want to go to work. And so, as I mentioned, in the United States, it's possible to have work and study at the same time. It's not so difficult. It's not easy, but it's not. I mean, you ever. So I believe lots of people can overcome it. And definitely, I have plans to go to university.
Wow.
To university.
And you did share with me that you want to go to like University of Washington. And they had a law school there too, right?
Yes, they have a law school. They have a law school, and right now I'm trying to figure out if there are some opportunities to get some scholarship, to get some fundings there, because yes, there is one more advantage to study at college.
Yeah.
To study at college, it's difficult to get funding, and even you didn't get funding, it's cheaper than
Yes.
Study at university, and so you can get lots of knowledge, lots of education here at college, and then you can go to university to get more knowledge and more classes.
Yeah.
But nobody restricts you to get these classes, this knowledge here at college. That's for free.
Absolutely.
It's almost for free.
I agree with
Yes.
you. I started here at the community college, and I don't think like I never think like my knowledge is lesser than anyone in the world. You know, I love community college, especially we are studying at Tacoma Community College. They don't pay for us for this video. We just love to
Yes.
share. Like it's cheaper a lot, guys. It's affordable.
Yes,
Right,
that's
Ravil?
affordable.
Yeah, and some people don't know. They say, "Oh, my degree have to have the university in there." You can, but hold on. Just study 2 year, first year first to take your maybe EOA, English second language, maybe, and then maybe ABE. Make sure you're confident, and then community college, college level, and then bachelor, and then university like Ravil go, right?
Yes, and I know that there are some bachelor program here at Tacoma Community College. Yes.
I'm glad that Ravil bring out that because well, after I finished 2 years, I study bachelor here at TCC. BS in community health, I feel so much helpful and so much confident, you know. And you know, Ravil, people worry about like, hey, if they just move here, they don't. So people misunderstand and say they should not go to school right away because if they go to school in the first year, they have to pay international tuition. I say it's not true.
Yeah, that's not true.
So can you share?
Yes, yes, when you come here, so and just if you are not sure, always ask just to so if I eligible, if I not eligible. So usually people are eligible and they don't know that they are eligible.
You have to ask, right?
Yes, you have to ask if you have any doubts, or you don't know. Just ask, and probably likely everything is better than you think.
Yeah, yeah, and also like if you have researching a little bit about the information at school at TCC, we have the 3 level of tuition. International, out of state for tuition, so people who just move here, and in-state tuition, right? So if you feel you pay wrong, please talk to your school. When you 1 year live in Washington State, you need to update residency status to pay
Mhm.
lower,
People
right?
lower.
And if you come here like refugees or immigrants, if you have document, right,
Mhm.
to prove that you have a visa,
Mhm.
refugee visa, immigrant visa, you should not pay it as an international student.
Mhm.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I-94 form is enough. I-90, yes, because for me, yes, it's just was, oh, I-94 form, it looks like some piece of paper without even photos.
94
94, yes.
visa. Oh,
It's
that's
it's
good to
it's it's
know.
it's not a visa, it's like some white, it's like some piece of paper, because yes, you can imagine visa, it's something you get in your passport and
Oh,
something like that. No,
94 the paper.
yes,
Like,
that's a paper, and I provide it
mm.
with this paper, and
It
so
work,
yes, it works.
right?
It
So
works.
Ravil have the fully funding, fully financial aid,
Mhm.
and can do work study. So yeah, it is possible, guys. Check with your school. They may have that option as well.
Mhm.
And if they don't have, check around school, the area they
Mhm.
should have for you. Ravil, your English is so good. I have to say that. When did you study English? I wonder because a lot of my audience, English second
Mhm.
language. So.
Yes, I started learning English, so um, full quarter 2022. It's
Mm.
less than 2 years, so one and a half year ago.
Mm.
So I came here, I studied on ASL classes, which I strongly recommend to
Mm.
take. Then when you will be more confident, I strongly recommend to take at least one uh, AB
Yeah.
class, because some people they want to start really fast, and they switch from ESL classes to college level class. You can, if you feel free, you definitely can. But in my case, I wasn't so confident, and I absolutely didn't regret that I took 2 quarters of AB classes, and they helped me a lot, because they prepared me how to study in college level classes, because in college level classes they can tell you, so please use APA format or
ABE, yeah.
APA format or
MLA, yeah. The
MLA
essay
format.
writing format, yeah.
Yes,
They teach you.
and professors may require it, and they say use APA format. What is this? What is APA
Yeah,
format?
they teach you
How
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 you
how,
know.
how to communicate with my
So no
professor?
ABE, they already prepare for you already.
They
Oh
absolutely
wow, my
prepare.
God.
They prepare.
Mm.
They explain you how to communicate with your professor, how to
Yeah.
use Canvas, how to use um, any resources, how to use TCC library, how to use um, we have
Touring center.
tutoring center. Yes,
Right, you
how
got
to use it,
you.
and they explain you everything, and you, wow, we have lots of
Mm.
resources to study very well.
Yeah, and when you're in the college level, you feel like so prepared,
Yes,
so
so
ready,
prepared.
right? Because in college level, they have the if you fail, impact your financial aid, impact
Yes,
your
yes.
funding. In AB EOA, it's not impact much
Mhm.
of anything actually, and the tuition is so low, you can try
Mhm.
over again. But college level, it have due time for due opportunity for you to fill out self appeal form.
Yes,
We
yes,
explain that
definitely.
later in the other video, but yeah, definitely check like Ravil go from UA. People just like us, we move for other country. We for like you area like should not jump right away college level. We don't know
Mhm.
what in there. UA guys, and then
ABE.
ABE, and then maybe while you UA, it depends on how much you can
Yes,
go.
yes. It depends. Just be comfortable, not maybe confident. Yes, not maybe confident. Definitely, someone may think so. Oh, I will never learn English. I will never understand. So definitely, on my first college level classes, I didn't understand a half probably, but I understood a half. A half is more than enough. More than enough. If you do all of your homework, if you do all of your homework, if you repeat it, if you revised all of this stuff which you wrote down, so you will be successful. Definitely.
Yeah, like just when I just started, I did not even understand anything,
Yeah.
anything, and eventually
Yes.
I was one of the best students. So I believe you feel that too, right? Like just keep going, guys. You might not understand in the beginning. Just keep going. There's some class like Korea College Pathway Academy, some class like CCPA or communication, college squad one. Some prepare for you for college. Also, the best to have a next step after the ABE as well. Yeah, maybe
Yes.
one class.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Ravil. And I definitely share this video for everyone and to empower people to go to school, right? Okay, Paralegal.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
See you.
See ya.